iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. So today what I wanted to do was give you a way too early first round mock. Now, this can change. All these players can absolutely change, but I wanted to mock the first round now and then compare it to what happens when we're in Las Vegas at the beautiful Palms Hotel and Casino for the Fantasy Football World Championships. You know, what I think I know now on June 18th and what I know in September may be two different things. So let's get it started. Let's see where we are. And I believe the number one pick should be Le'Veon Bell. Now, the problem with Le'Veon Bell, and it is a problem, is that he has a bad contract deal going on, and he doesn't want to play unless he gets a new contract. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. He should get paid. He's deserving of getting paid. This guy's got a lot of talent, and he makes things happen. And one of my biggest regrets last year was not picking Bell in a league that my friend and I had the number 2 overall pick. We took Kareem Hunt, and I don't think you can blame us for taking Kareem Hunt. I mean, after what he did against the Patriots, makes a lot of sense, but Le'Veon Bell is just a producer. I mean, he produces catching the football, 5, 6, 7. Here's where his numbers last year with receptions. 3, 4, 6, 4, 10, 3, 3, 2, 5, 9, 12, 5, 9, 5, 5. I mean, that's a big number. Right there, you're getting 8 or 9 points a week from him. Forget what he does rushing. You're getting those receiving yards. So Lev Bell, if you don't want to take him one, I get it and I understand it. Maybe you're worried about an injury. Maybe you're worried about the holdout. But if he signs and if he's there, he's got to be in consideration for number one. Todd Gurley, I think, has to be the other guy at number one because he's just that good. Now, a couple of years ago, I had Gurley with some friends in 2015 when he was a rookie. He wasn't a receiver back then, but he was a really good running back. And then 2016, it was the abomination known as Jeff Fisher. Guy's the worst coach I've ever seen. But with Sean McVay, with a new offensive line, with Jared Goff, with Robert Woods, with Cooper Kupp, Todd Gurley runs for 1,305 yards, and he had one more carry in 2017 than he had in 2016. Literally, he had 278 for 885 in 2016, 279 for 1,305 in 2017. Plus, he had 64 receptions. Plus, he had 788 yards receiving. This is a guy who should get 2,000 yards no matter, and he is a beast. He's in a tough division, but he's a beast. The third guy that you need to consider is Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, so I probably think he's going to go at 1-3. I mean, how many games did he miss last year? Missed 5 games, and he still had close to 1,000 yards. And the interesting thing about him this year is not only will he have way more than 1,000 yards, way more than double-digit touchdowns, there's no Dez Bryant. There's no Jason Witten anymore. He may catch 50 balls this year. Last year, he caught 26 balls. His highest is 32. He may get 32 receptions by week 8 this year. This guy should easily be on pace for about, 50, 60 receptions, which increases his value in PPR formats. The fourth guy is David Johnson. So it's interesting. If I have pick 4, I'm very happy taking David Johnson. David Johnson's really had one great year in the NFL, and it was a pretty darn great year. Way over 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. He had 120 targets that year. Chase Edmonds a good little backup there from Fordham. But this about David Johnson. If he is healthy, he is a beast. But imagine this. Bell, Gurley, Zeke, David Johnson. I picked 4th. I got David Johnson. What's wrong with that? That's a beautiful thing right there. So I might be very happy getting the number 4 pick in the draft, getting Johnson, and I'll get a better pick in the second round. Pick 5, I believe, is going to be Alvin Kamara. So, Alvin Kamara did what nobody would have expected. The guy started out the year as the third running back. He did pretty much nothing the first 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Well, maybe week 4 he was good against Miami, but the first 3 weeks, nothing with nothing. And then he explodes on the scene and basically wins people fantasy football championships. That's how good he was. This guy had 81 catches for 826 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's as good as a third receiver. Plus, he ran the football. And Mark Ingram's not going to be there for the first few weeks. So I've got to think Alvin Kamara is absolutely number 5, and he's a terrific pick at 5. Antonio Brown is probably going to be the 5, 6, or 7 pick. And when you look at Brown, I want you to look at these numbers. 11 for 182, 10 for 110 and a touchdown, 10 for 157, 8 for 155 and a touchdown, 10 for 144 and 3 touchdowns, 10 for 169 and 2 touchdowns, 8 for 101 and a touchdown, 11 for 213. He could win you all those weeks by himself. That's how good he is. So if you want to pass on a running back and take Antonio Brown, I have no problem with that in the first round. This guy is a difference maker, and that's how you win fantasy football world championships. Speaking of those world championships, we'll be at the Palms Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas before week 1. I want you out there drafting with us. It's a great experience. So pick 7, I think pick 7 right now is going to be Kareem Hunt. Problem with Kareem Hunt is Andy Reid. He got a little stupid last year. Now, the first 5 weeks, listen to these numbers. 17 for 148 and a touchdown. 13 for 81 and 2 touchdowns. 17 for 172 and a touchdown. 21 for 101. 29 for 107. And then, nothing. 9 for 21, 87, 46, 37. There was a 7-week dry spell, which was brutal. Now, he came back on in the fantasy playoffs to help me win some leagues, which I appreciate, but I wouldn't have had to compete that hard if he had done better in those other 7 weeks. That's the problem with Hunt comparatively to guys like Bell and Gurley. Hunt may get a week off. Gurley's never getting a week off. He's just too good of a player. I may surprise you here, but I think I'm taking Saquon Barkley at 8. I think he's really that good. I think he is a difference maker. I think he gets 250 carries. I think he gets 1,100 yards. I think he catches 50 to 60 passes, and I think he gets another 500 or 600 yards. So you're looking at a guy who can get you 1,600 yards and double-digit touchdowns. Now, if you'll say to me, Dr. Roto, what if he loses goal line carries to Jonathan Stewart? I'll say, maybe so, but I think he's going to score from the 20-yard line. This guy's going to score 5 to 7 touchdowns from long distance because he is that good. He is legit. And I want touches. This guy's going to touch the football well over 320 times. If he does that, he is absolutely a top pick. DeAndre Hopkins is probably the next receiver that's going to go off the board, and he's certainly going to be a top 8 or top 9 pick. And what you have to love about Hopkins is how good he was with Deshaun Watson. When they were together, they were virtually unstoppable. This guy finds the end zone. You can't cover him. He was a special, special player. So if at this point you're starting to look at running backs and saying, look, a lot of guys I like, nobody I love, let me get a great receiver, you're going to get one in Hopkins. The interesting thing was last year in 2 different leagues. One, a Fantasy Football World Championship League, we got Hopkins in round 2. And in the SiriusXM Host League, I got Hopkins in the 9th pick of round 3. Are you kidding? This guy's a first round talent. I can't believe the gifts that people gave me in drafts last year. Stupid picks. I'm a vacuum cleaner. I'm always going to suck up the right pick every single time. That's how I roll. All right. Pick number 10 is a tough one for me. But I think you could see Odell Beckham Jr. Roto. And I think you're going to see it for the same reason about Antonio Brown. Beckham will literally win you 5 weeks. That's how good he is, right? He goes 7 for 90 and 2 touchdowns. Look at this against Philadelphia, 9 for 79 and 2 touchdowns. Right there, it's a 30-point week. He does that with regularity. That's the beauty of Beckham, and that's why he is a first-round pick. Now, he could go 9, he could go 10, he could go 11, he can go 12, but he's got to be a first-round pick because he's a difference maker, and you win fantasy football leagues with 2 things. 1, you win with consistency, week in, week out. Or 2, you win with difference makers, and that's a fact. I think Leonard Fournette should go about in the 11th or 12th pick. Think of it this way. The guy only played in 13 games last year, ran for 1,000 yards, had 300 yards receiving, and scored double-digit touchdowns. Give him another 3 games. Let's add another 400 yards to that. That's how good this guy is. Jacksonville wants to run the football, right? I'm not worried about TJ Yeldon. I'm not worried about Corey Grant. I love Fournette. Look, last year we were all talking about Fournette like we were talking about Saquon Barkley. Now all of a sudden Fournette drops to like 11 or 12. This guy's a really good player. I think you need to be in on him. And lastly, right now, as of this second, I think that people will look at Julio Jones-Roto. They'll look at Mike Evans. Maybe they'll look at Devontae Adams. Maybe they'll look at Dalvin Cook. For my money, my pick here is Melvin Gordon as the 12th. I'll tell you this. First of all, Melvin Gordon can run the football. He is a beast. He will get you 1,000 yards rushing, probably get you 10 touchdowns. Secondly, he's improved as a receiver. Last year, 58 catches, 476 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Without Hunter Henry there, can't you think that he's going to have even more targets? I think he will, and I don't want to pass up Melvin Gordon. So if I'm picking 11 or 12, I want Gordon on the way up, or I certainly want Gordon on the way back. I need to get Melvin Gordon there. I think if I pair up Gordon with Mike Evans, or Gordon with A.J. Green, or Gordon and Julio Jones-Roto, if I'm picking 12 and I go Gordon, Julio Jones, I feel pretty good about my team, don't you? I think that's a pretty good start. I might go Gordon McCaffrey. I might go Gordon Cook. I might do a Mike Evans. I've got flexibility. But once I have Gordon, I have a guy who is a consistent producer, and that's what I want and need to be successful. But if you want to be successful, you know what you do? You go to scoutfantasysports.com. When you're there, you find me, you find Adam Ronis, you find Sean Childs. You check the premium outlooks, you look at our NFL draft kit, and you learn. And then we have Preseason Pro, which is not only me and Sean and Adam, but you've got Ian Ritchie and Scott Atkins and Mark Deming and Mike Santos and so many top players giving you our sleepers, our busts, our stash and cash players. It's a super value, and I couldn't imagine why you wouldn't want to go there. I always want to know, Kimmer Schleicher's there? Hello, I want to know what the best people are doing. If Kimmer's saying this, I'm listening. She's very smart in fantasy football, won the Fantasy Football World Championship. If she says do X, I'm considering it. I may not do it, but I'm going to look at it and say, what does Kimmer know that I don't? Right? That's what a smart person does. What is this person saying that I should be doing? If you want to do all that, you get your knowledge, then you go to playffwc.com and you sign up for one of our drafts. Whether it's a best ball draft, online championship draft, or the Fantasy Football World Championship. That's what you do. You want to play where the best players play. That's where we are. The competition is great. The rules are awesome. And the payouts are the best in the industry. And that's why I love our league. And it's about total points and not record. And you get a full slate of games, not 11 games. I hate that. I don't like the third round reversal. I don't like 6 points for a quarterback to pass. We do it the right way. So I encourage you, check us out at playffwc.com. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back with so much more tomorrow. This is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!